everybody, NinjaX the Enlightened Gamer here. Welcome to one of the very last 2 original Enlightened Vlog topics for Enlightened Vlogs. As promised, whenever Season 2 comes around, or more accurately, around the same time Season 1 ends, this show will be terminated and replaced by Wildcard and Ninja's Top 10s. I am going to miss this show, but I am also really excited for the new content. Anyway, on to today's topic. What makes a video game art? This is an incredibly polarizing and complicated issue, seemingly. But that's because we can't get our own perceptions out of our heads. If we could approach it from a more inspired, a more enlightened angle, then it would be obvious. What makes video games art is the same thing that makes pretty much everything art. 2 simple aspects, 2 simple rules. The first rule: it must be greater than the sum of its parts. If it does not have significantly more value than its core components would indicate, it's not art. Flappy Bird will never be art, because its core components are all that it is. And that's fine. It's a mobile game, it's easy to pick up and play on the go. It's not the type of games that I would ever play, but there is an audience. It's not bad from a business perspective. And it's been very successful from one. But that's another point entirely. The second rule is the reason why it's so hard to pinpoint which games are and aren't art. It must mean something significant to the player. Be able to inspire and evoke complex emotions. And for some people, games that would barely qualify for the first rule also qualifies for the second, because for them, there's a strong memory attached to it, a joy of simpler times, some valuable memory. And in that sense, the capacity for a video game to be art is almost limitless. Because art is memorable. Because it is greater than the sum of its components, and because it had a profound impact on the viewer, or the player in this case, it will gain the immortality promised of a work of art. Yes, even Flappy Bird, which I not 2 seconds ago said would never be art, has that capacity in that regard. Maybe somebody out there met their future wife or husband with Flappy Bird as a catalyst. Do I think that the game's memorable? Not at all. I honestly think that in 10 years, people will have all but forgotten it. And that's just its lot in life. Let me use some games as examples. There are the artistic high points in gaming. Games like Shadow of the Colossus, games like Earthbound, Mother 2, Mother 3, that are incredibly complex emotional journeys with solid stories, solid enough gameplay, and very perspective-driven atmospheres. What do you mean by that? I mean that the atmosphere is driven by the player feeling like the avatar on the screen. If you disconnect from a game you're playing, either because you're bored or whatever, then you can no longer get that personal experience that allows it to become art. So let's talk about one of the most controversial games of recent years. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time is heralded by most as one of the greatest video games ever, and others as a gaming travesty that drove Zelda away from its origins. I'm not going to say if anybody's wrong or right, because that's mostly opinion. But I am going to say it is a living, breathing world. It envelops you. If you don't like the people in the world, it's probably because Link wouldn't like them. Link would get irritated at them. Or at least you as Link would. The next Enlightened vlog will be the very first vlog redux. Until then, I hope as always that you will stay enlightened.